may be March, but we have a different kind of madness on tap as the Presbyterian College Acro and Tumbling hosts St. Leo in Clinton, South Carolina for their penultimate meet of 2026. Welcome into the Templeton Center. I'm Mike Zabo, joined by Madeline Johnson on ESPN Plus as we strap in for the second meeting this season between these two teams. But first, let's take in the anthem. Sweet start and a great crowd on hand here at the Templeton Center for the penultimate meet of 2026 for these Presbyterian College Blue Hose. Madeline, Presbyterian lost to St. Leo a couple of weeks ago. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts on what the mindset of the team for Presbyterian should be. Trying to get some payback on the floor since you've been in this spot before.
So earlier in the season, Presbyterian College lost to St. Leo, and so as we're going into this meet, they're a lot of hype. They're wanting to try to win and get some redemption against St. Leo today, and hopes of kind of getting payback and tumbling.
St. Leo coming into this one, a 4-1 record on the season. Presbyterian trying to get that elusive first victory of the season. They have today and one more meet here at home next Saturday to try and do that, prevent the winless season for them. Let's take a look at both of these head coaches of these squads. For St. Leo in her third season leading the squad, it's Brittany Johnson. For Presbyterian in her fourth year, it's Kara Christian for the Blue Hose. As we get started with category 1 of 6 here tonight with the compulsory acro events with St. Leo. There you have it, St. Leo getting things started out here with their compulsory acro. Madeline, a solid start to this competition there.
Here we have Kara Christian on the screen as they're waiting for PC to take the mat for acro compulsory. St. Leo had a great start right there with their compulsory, very clean, just a little wobble on that lib, but however, great start, good synchronization, lots of energy and a lot of excitement to get past that first heat.
See what Presbyterian comes up with here. They're coming off of a very close loss to Frostburg State last Saturday, 246.855 to 244.786. Really not much to separate those two sides. Within that, Presbyterian set season high scores in this compulsory event, as well as a little later on with their acro and tumbling heats. So this was a point of strength, if you will, for the Blue Hose in that previous meeting a couple of days ago. Looking to repeat something like that. That season high score across the entire event was 36.30. had a 35-25 against the St. Leo squad almost a month ago. That was a 261 to 243 defeat, give or take a couple of decimal points there.
Acro heat will be Presbyterian.
Presbyterian. As the Blue Hose take the floor to begin their part of the competition. There you have it, Presbyterian getting into the final stages of their routine here. There you have it, Presbyterian College with their compulsory acro routine.
Great start for PC on their acro heat in the compulsory. Just a little bit of wobble, just like St. Leo on that lip, on that left side, but nothing too major. Really good start for them.
We'll see how that's reflected in the score once we get through the entire category a little later on.
Here we have a replay. With a good finish.
Madeline, tell me a little bit about that bobble. We saw Carson DeRoss on top there, shaking around a little bit. Is that where you kind of see that bobble there?
Just a little bit kind of back on her heel a little bit, it kind of looks like. So it kind of can cause that little bit of wobble with that imbalance there. However, they kept it up, they fought good, and made it look still pretty effortless.
These routines defined by such small margins, all about all being together, being synchronous, and trying to look so coordinated as possible.
While also keeping that technique still.
Of course, up next, St. Leo will take the floor with their compulsory pyramid routine. St. Leo comes into this one ranked number 11 in the NCATA poll. Again, trying to make it a season sweep over Presbyterian after taking the event on their floor last month, back on February 22nd.
Pyramid heat will be St. Leo.
Another meeting with yet a really top side for Presbyterian, who face some tough competition throughout 2026. The only loss for St. Leo this season was to number 1 Ballard. Here they are with their compulsory pyramid. There you have it, St. Leo with the compulsory pyramid.
Yeah, really good pyramid all throughout. They're very tight, very strong. I didn't see any movement personally, but really good high catches at the end. And so here we'll see the replay. We'll get another look at it. Really good synchronization throughout. Yeah, no movement there. And good high catches at the end. Everything that the judges are really looking for.
Sophomore Angelique Catarucci coordinating it all in between the two pyramids there out of East Brunswick, New Jersey. St. Leo, that compulsory pyramid, the last time they faced Presbyterian, some of their better marks of the entire meet, scoring a 9-8 in that event. See if they could replicate that, if not better it, when we get our judges' scores a little bit later on. Presbyterian takes the floor for their answer. There you have it, Presbyterian in their compulsory pyramid.
Really good compulsory pyramid for Presbyterian College. They are having a great start to the meet, and so we'll see in the replay here. Good synchronization, really sturdy throughout the bases, and then good high catches. Very clean overall, such a great start.
Move to the compulsory toss in the third of 4 heats here in this first category. And Presbyterian looking to get some payback, as we mentioned in the open, after the loss to St. Leo last month. St. Leo coming into this one off of a win on senior night against West Liberty. Really controlled that one throughout. They had a 35-55 in this first compulsory category.
First up in the compulsory toss will be St.
Would
Leo.
control the meet the rest of the way. There we go with St. Leo in the compulsory toss, also scoring a 980 against these Blue Hose last month.
Really good compulsory toss for St. Leo. They're super excited. Coming near towards the end here soon of their compulsory event. Really good height, and here we'll see in the replay. Really good height, synchronization, energy, and really good catches.
See number 34, Kyra Walker, coordinating all of those movements there for St. Leo. She was one of the 4 seniors honored for the St. Leo squad on senior night a couple of days ago. It was last Friday for this squad. Now Presbyterian will look to answer here. At a 970 in the toss. Last time they faced St. Leo. Scored a 965 last Saturday against Frostburg State. Presbyterian again, still looking for, talked about looking for that payback, looking for that first win, an 0-6 record coming into today. Have come up against some tough competition this season. They were 7-2 last year, but again, have gone up against some ranked opponents, really testing themselves here in 2026, but hoping to try and end things off on a good note here tonight and next Saturday, their final 2 meets. Both of them here in the, inside the Templeton Center
Next,
to close out
the
this season.
compulsory toss will be Presbyterian.
Presbyterian takes the floor for a compulsory toss. Presbyterian with their 3rd heat of this compulsory category.
Coming off the mat with lots of excitement. We'll see in the replay. Good synchronization and height throughout. Really good finish during that. And a lot of excitement coming off.
Number 17, Brooklyn Hollick, the junior base out of Tyler, Texas, coordinating all of that. Counting out the rhythm there. We move to our final heat of this first category in tumbling. And of course, as customary, we always go with the road team first, St. Leo, then Presbyterian, as you've seen so far, and we'll see the rest of the way with our heats. Both of these teams overall some of the first few programs around the country to get involved with acro and tumbling. 7th season of competition for Presbyterian, season number 6 for St. Leo. The 3rd one here with head coach Brittany Johnson. And you take a little look further down her coaching staff there, and her first season on the staff is Abby Baker. She was a grad transfer into this program last season, earned All-American status, and was named NCATA Division II Specialist of the Year in 2025. Just folded right into the coaching staff here in 2026. St. Leo with compulsory tumbling. St. Leo closing out their compulsory category. Madeline, tell me a little bit about that routine.
Yeah, really good compulsory tumbling event. Here we'll see a little replay of the round-off handspring layout. Really good synchronization throughout all of the parts about this heat. Just a couple of little hops, I think maybe like 3 or so. So nothing major, nothing many, and they were very small. But overall, really great job and really good finish to the compulsory event.
So that closes out category number 1 of 6 here in this meet. We'll have those scores in a little bit. We'll start getting into the intros. You'll hear a little bit about the acro category coming up next. 5 element, 6 element, and 7 element and pyramid heats in that category. As both teams talking things over of how this first category went, and getting excited and hyped up for the next one. Take you back to almost a month ago in the last meeting here between Presbyterian and St. Leo. There really wasn't a whole lot to separate these teams between the first 4 categories. The separation really started to happen in that tumbling and team event. So interesting to see how Presbyterian kind of improve in that area. We've seen them do so in some other meets right after St. Leo. It score an 80 in their team event, a 3-point improvement there. In their loss to Frostburg State, a 3-point improvement compared to their routine against St. Leo. So we'll see how that shakes out as we go across the categories and the heats. And not much more than a point or two, maybe even a couple of decimal points between the heats and the categories between these 2 teams. It's those final categories where, Madeline, you've talked about before, that's where you usually see things separate with those team events.
Oh yeah, especially as you start individualizing it, that's when you'll start seeing the differences come out.
We'll start out with Presbyterian Acro event and continue to wait those score lines. There you have it, actually, with Presbyterian and their compulsory tumbling routine there. Madeline, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves there. Tell me a little bit about the Blue Hose there, closing out the compulsory category.
Yeah, so here in our replay, we're seeing that final part of it. Overall, synchronization was pretty good. Just a couple of steps and hops, similar to St. Leo, just a few here and there. But overall, good, strong finish, and they're done with compulsory, and they can get to doing what they do best and to those individualized parts of the meet.
And with that, we'll take a quick timeout. We'll get set up for the acro category right after this short break on ESPN+. The Templeton Center, once again, Mike Savo and Madeline Johnson on the call for you as we're moments away from category number 2 here between St. Leo and Presbyterian. We take a look at the crowd here around the Templeton Center.
High energy all around.
Penultimate meet here at home for Presbyterian of 2026. Take a look at St. Leo as well. About that, Madeline, you don't see that often. A great flag on display for that side.
No, I don't think I've ever really seen like a school flag on the sideline. That's really cool though. Lots of excitement from them as well. Patiently waiting for the scores.
Both teams awaiting the scores of the first category, and then we'll get started with the acro 5-element heats for both of these teams. And Madeline talked about not too many major errors for either of those teams in the heats, but as we see in these scores, everything determined by some small margins. We'll see how the judges determine things, where these scores fall after the first category and first couple of heats. Take a look at Presbyterian's side of the court as well. Waiting these scores, talking through strategy for the next couple of heats. Madeline alluded to before the break, you start getting a little individualized. The groups get a little smaller for some of these heats.
Here we have the scores.
Please direct your attention to the video board. In the acro heat, St. Leo scored a 9.10.
So you take a look at the scores. Again, not too much to separate these teams, but St. Leo taking that first category, 35-75 to 34-20.
In the toss heat, St. Leo scored a 9.15.
Take a look at that pyramid heat, a real signature for St. Leo in that category. A 9.75 in that one. Best part for Presbyterian as well in that category was the pyramid heat with a 9.60. Some of your thoughts, Madeline, there on the score lines kind of reflect what you were seeing in those heats?
Yeah, and the scores are really close, just kind of what I was expecting. I think it's going to be a tight meet overall. It'll be interesting to see how the whole meet plays out today.
We'll see for St. Leo coming out for their 5-element. This was one of their events across this meet the last time they faced Presbyterian. They scored a 9.95 the last time they faced Presbyterian back on February the 22nd. Let's see what they do here. St. Leo with their 5-element impressive strength on display there.
Oh yeah, really good start to the acro equipment, I think that they have a really good chance of getting that same score, or maybe higher, I don't know. But here we have a replay of the Acro Element 5. Really great control throughout that inversion to the straddle hold. Really clean. A lot of great control throughout that.
Now Presbyterian will look to counter both of these teams having a start value of 10 when it comes to the scores and judging their routines for this heat. And of course, for 5, 6, 7 elements, the differentiating factor there, of course, Madeline, just the number of athletes out there.
The difference between 5, 6, and 7 element,
Next,
it's kind of like how many skills you're doing that you're counting. So in the 5 element, you're going to do 5 things. In the 6 element, you'll do 6 things, but there happens to be the synchronization point of that. But then the 7 element, you'll have 7 things. So that's kind of how that plays out.
See how Presbyterian does with their Acro 5 element.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Blue Hose hyped up for how that routine went. Their acro 5 element.
Yes, great start for their acro. Really clean. And here we'll see in the replay of the inversion. Really good hold of this and really sharp on the finish with just a little step at the end, but overall really great.
The junior Kalena Veers up top for a lot of those skills for the Blue Hose on that heat. Coming up will be the 6-element synchronization for St. Leo. In our first kind of change in terms of the start value, St. Leo will have a 975 start value there. They had a similar sort of situation in the meet against Presbyterian. Scored a 955 in that heat.
The second heat in the acro event will be the 6th element. Up first with a start value of 9.75, St. Leo.
And Leo takes the floor with a bit of pizzazz there for their 6-element synchronization. A little bit of flair never hurts anybody.
No. It's good to have lots of fun.
Come on, tight. Let's go. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 7, 8. 1. Let's go. 6, 7, 8. Come on, y'all. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Senior Kyra Walker once again coordinating that one, the 6-element synchronization for St. Leo.
Yeah, really good overall. Here we'll see a little replay of that first part with the layouts off. A little pikey on the left side, but overall really good positions. And a little shaky on that inversion on the right side, but they had a good fight in that and kept it up.
Presbyterian looked to counter here. scored an 8.65 in this heat last week against Frostburg State. The start value of 935. They will have a 960 start value for this heat. Taking the floor here for Presbyterian on number 1, Carson DeRoss, number 12, Sophia Cipriani, number 17, Brooklyn Holland, number 3, Iviran Awesome, number 5, Julia Petz, number 21, Anna Ruiz, number 7, Alyssa O'Keefe, number 11, Abby Galicio, and number 6, Victoria Smith. They have it, the Presbyterian College Blue Hose with their 6-element synchro.
Very clean from Presbyterian College. Good synchronization throughout. And overall really exciting coming off that mat with that one. Sometimes with the scores, 'cause I know they have that little bit of that 0.15 difference, but sometimes it can be almost a little bit of a get ahead situation with having that cleaner, more easier in a way skill set when you're going into this kind of thing, because as we saw from St. Leo, a little bit of that bobble on that right side, so it'll be interesting to see how the scores play out for this specific heat.
We'll see at the end of the categories, we'll have some normal start values of 10 for the next heat. The 7-element to be the third leg of this second category with acro, where we move to the pyramid piece. This part actually got quite interesting in the last meet between these two. Scored the exact same number, both a 945 in their 7-element heat back on February the 22nd. We'll see how that plays out here. Presbyterian making some preparations, as you see, for one of the tumbles and rest of the skills to come.
Heat 3 of this event will be the 7-element. Up first with a start value of 10, St. Leo.
St. Leo underway with their acro 7-element. St. Leo with their acro 7-element.
Good finish to the acro event as a whole for St. Leo. Really good control in that inversion, and we'll see that here as she goes into it. Good fight in there as we're holding it. And then she goes to kind of have a little arch in her back. But really good control in that. And she's got a smile on her face to prove it.
Quite the arch there. That just hurts my lower back watching that one. Impressive stuff there for St. Leo Presbyterian. Once again looking to counter here. Number 5, Julia Petz. Number 21, Anna Ruiz. Number 6, Victoria Smith. Number 31, Aisha Edmond. And number 11, Abby Galicio, to take the floor for the Blue Hose for this 7-element routine. And that will close out the acro category of this one and send us into part 3 of 6 of this meet with the pyramid.
Next, with a start value of 10, Presbyterian.
There you have it, Presbyterian with their 7-element.
Really good 7-element from PC. Lots of excitement coming off the mat. That was really clean, really strong throughout, and a lot of control. Here we'll see it again. Really good handstand hold. No movement in this. All the way to the pike with lots of good control. Still no movement from the bases, and really good body positioning from the top. Yeah, PC is excited as they finish up their acro event.
You saw the concentration there, the coordination, a really strong end to this acro category. We'll be back for Pyramid right after this short break on ESPN+.
This completes our acro event. While we're waiting for the combined results of this event and our meet standings, let's introduce the pyramid.
Take a look at the scores here for our second event of this meet between Presbyterian and St. Leo. And as you see, the home team takes it. The total score 28-15 to 27-95 against St. Leo. Something Presbyterian did not do last month was take this category, and they do so here this evening.
The inversion period. Up first with a start value
Best part of that for Presbyterian was that 7-element part of it, a 9.85 score in that one. We move to the pyramid category with St. Leo's routine. The inversion pyramid here, start values of 10 for everybody. There you have it, St. Leo really excited about that routine here at the inversion pyramid to start off category number 3.
Here we'll see that replay of that inversion pyramid. Really good control and really good high catches as well. A lot of excitement from St. Leo to start off this pyramid event.
Angelique Catarucci was on top there. Great strength we've seen throughout a lot of these heats from both teams. you see there, the inversion so difficult having to go into some of those tight, awkward positions.
Oh yeah, especially with all the different parts that are within something like that inversion pyramid as well. All the people that are having to balance one on top of the other, just a lot of strength.
Next, with a start value of 10, Presbyterian.
Presbyterian now takes the floor for the start of this pyramid category with their inversion routine. Impressive stuff there from the Blue Hose on their inversion pyramid routine.
Yes, really good inversion pyramid from PC. Very strong, very tight, very little to no movement from the bases. And they even held it an extra second, and we'll see that again in the replay. Really good high catches.
The tops, this one for Presbyterian being Julia Petz, can garner a lot of the headlines, the most obvious bits of skill that you see there. But in a lot of these situations, you see in this case, the base, Ivir and Awesome being underneath there for the Blue Hose. That goes underrated. You basically have the full weight of two people right on your knees there.
Exactly, and you're kind of really in control of a lot of the balancing there too.
Impressive stuff from both teams for the first part of this category. Next up, the synchronized pyramid. Of course, self-explanatory there. A lot of coordination needed in that one. You've seen the strength, the strange positionings. This one all about coordination between the teams and their routines. The interesting part of this, we saw Presbyterian gain some momentum, and you saw those acro category scores gaining the edge. St. Leo still have the overall edge in terms of the total score here in this meet, but Presbyterian creeping very close after that acro category win. The last time these two teams met, there was only a couple of points that differentiated St. Leo and Presbyterian. It was 29-4-5 to 29-30 in favor of St. Leo, but this inversion and synchronized pyramids were Presbyterian's heats. Some of the top scores they've ever seen have come out of this category, a 990 and a 970 almost a month ago. Seeing a little bit how those scores today compare to the previous meeting. Similar stuff as well. Last week against Frostburg State, a 9-7 and a 9-6 scored in that one as well.
For Pyramid Heat 2, the synchronized pyramid. Up first with a start value of 10, St. Leo.
Again, this entire category, everyone's starting out with start values of 10 on their scores. That what goes into that, of course, the difficulty of the skills being attempted here. St. Leo with their synchronized pyramid. Leo really fired up. You always see these teams really hyped up after each routine, but St. Leo really fired up after that one for their synchronized pyramid.
They were. That was a really good synchronized pyramid from St. Leo, and we'll see it here again. Really good synchronization. Very clean, very crisp. No movement from the bases below. And a lot of excitement coming off that mat.
Presbyterian now coming up to counter.
Next, with a star value of 10, Presbyterian.
Presbyterian takes the floor for their synchronized pyramid routine.
Ready, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There you have it, Presbyterian College with their synchronized pyramid.
Really good synchronized pyramid from PC. A lot of excitement coming off that mat. Here we'll see it again. Really good pike synchronized pyramid. Really powerful dismounts off. And I didn't see any movement from the bases on that one either.
Number 1, Carson DeRoss, and number 5, Julia Petz on top in that routine. And the senior, number 24, Avery Machowski, coordinating it all. Take another look at the crowd here around the Templeton Center. A really close meet so far in this one. As we reach the final part of our pyramid category in the first half of this meet. The open pyramid. Madeline, once again, when you see that word open in any of our categories, it means the creativity box opened up for these two squads.
Exactly right there. It opens up to kind of being able to do what you do best, what you want to showcase.
There goes St. Leo to close out the pyramid category for them. Way for St. Leo to close out their pyramid category.
Yes, really good finish for St. Leo as they did their one-man pyramid. And here we'll see it again. A little bit shaky from the bases at the start of it. However, coming in strong and really clean. Really good dismount as well. Really good finish to the pyramid event.
You could see at the start there's so much tension to just set up the whole movement. You're worried about how things start out for it not to be too shaky, but as you said, things kind of ended really well there for St. Leo.
Yeah.
Take another look at Presbyterian head coach, Kara Christian.
Next, with the star value of 10,
She looks on for
Presbyterian.
Presbyterian, about to start their routine here at the open pyramid. Presbyterian closes out their pyramid category.
Really good open pyramid from PC.
That concludes the pyramid event. We will now take a
That concludes the first half of our event. We'll have the scores for this pyramid category right after a halftime break. Second half coming up a little bit. Back here in Clinton, South Carolina at the halfway point of this acro meet between Presbyterian College and St. Leo. Once again, Mike Sabo alongside Madeline Johnson for this call. And as things currently stand, St. Leo with the narrow advantage, 63.70 to Presbyterian's 62-35 scoreline, pending the scores that will be announced for our third category, the pyramid, when we are about to come out of the break in around 12 minutes time. But Madeline, some of your thoughts of how that first half went?
That first half went really great. Really close in scores, really close in skill set. It'll be really interesting to see how the rest of this meet plays out. And I think it'll, like we've said previously, I think it will go all the way up to team event in terms of how this meet is going to turn out.
Yeah, the last time these two teams faced off, you started to see some separation with tumbling and the team events, really. That when you go down to those score lines, it was 53-48. St. Leo took those categories, and then 85-77. That really led to the separation to the final score line of 261-243, give or take a couple of decimal points there. So we'll see how Presbyterian goes on in those categories. We've already seen a little bit of change from that meeting in how they took the second category in acro. With that, we'll step aside once again here at the half in this Presbyterian acro and tumbling meet against St. Leo. Back in a moment on ESPN+. Back here at the half between Presbyterian College acro and tumbling and St. Leo, as we take a look back a little bit throughout the first half of this contest. We're through the compulsory acro and pyramid categories so far. Take a look at some warm-ups done by both of these teams. Again, not too much to separate either of these sides throughout. Take a look back at the first part of this contest.
Looking back at some of our highlights, we got the pyramid, the synchronized, some good moments, some more pyramid, really clean. Lots of laughter all around the Templeton gym. Got our tumbling. Really good controlled handstand to the straddle hold from St. Leo.
And a first there we've never seen before with the flag waving around the St. Leo side of the court. Some more great skills and display of strength here from the Blue Hose.
Highlights of all the excitement from today.
Common theme you always see in these events. The vibes are high, so much positivity, and we look for some more of it right after this break as we approach the second half. Welcome back into the Templeton Center. As you take a look around the campus of Presbyterian College here, a really beautiful day around these parts as weather starts to warm back up once again. We bring you back inside the gym as both of these teams make some of their final couple of preparations for the second half, when things will condense a little bit with the toss categories and the tumbling as well. We'll have some individual routines in there, all culminating in the team event to close things out. Madeline, when we look ahead to this toss event, both of these teams will have that start value of 9. We've alluded to it a little bit before. Goes into a lot of those start values is the difficulty of skill you're trying to execute, and sometimes that's manipulated a little bit depending on the abilities of your squad. You want to have a good baseline to get the best score possible.
Exactly. Even though you might have whatever is your highest skill set, you might not want to do it if it's not quite perfected the way you want it to be yet. So doing the best skill that you have that is not only maybe the highest, but also the cleanest thing.
To break things down, of course, you'll have the subcategories of this toss. You'll have 450 salto, synchronized, and then open toss. Of course, when you get to that open part, a lot of ability to expand the creativity and execution of skills at that portion of things. Coming up next, we'll take a little look ahead to things for both of these teams. Again, just have one last meet of the 2026 regular season for them. For St. Leo, after tonight, they'll be hanging around these parts to take on Converse in nearby Spartanburg, while Presbyterian will be right back here in the Templeton Center next Saturday at 2 o'clock to close out the season against Bluefield State. For, of course, you have the NCATA National Championships at the end of April over in California. Let's take a look at the scores for the pyramid event you saw before the break. And Presbyterian yet again takes the event. Back-to-back event wins for PC, but it's still St. Leo narrowly hanging on to the running total lead.
The event total for St. Leo
PC is slowly closing that gap. Hopefully they can continue if they want to have that redemption.
So you see for Presbyterian that pyramid total 29.25, 29.10. You saw in some of the categories in their previous meeting on February 22nd. That's what it was really about. Just a couple of decimal points here and there until you got to the latter categories that separated these two teams. And yet again, that trend plays up there. A pair of 980 score lines for Presbyterian with the inversion pyramid and the open pyramid as well in that category. So some really good stuff. Both teams hitting above a 9 throughout that category. For some of these teams, they usually hit some of their best scores of the meets there. St. Leo got a 990 in their open pyramid the last time these two teams faced off. Couldn't do much better. They got a 980 this time. Again, still hold on to the overall running total lead, St. Leo that is. 92.80 to 91.60. But you have to say, Madeline, the momentum in favor of Presbyterian, because we keep on referencing that previous meeting between these two, and in that, this was Presbyterian's event, the toss, where they would narrowly take it 26.45 to 26.30. So they've already had some bonus parts to this meet already when you compare those two. They've won these events. They haven't won before against this team and some others throughout the season. They have done so tonight and are set up for a good run here with their best category coming up.
Yeah, if they can close that gap in this heat, they could be in a good chance and a good shot of winning this meet for sure.
Both teams will have a start value of 9 for the 450 salto toss. 450 salto toss will involve about 6 student athletes from each team flying up and down the mat here. St. Leo waits to take the floor to start out category number 4 in the second half of our meet.
The toss event will be the 450 salto toss. Up first with a start value of 9, St. Leo.
There you have it, St. Leo starting things out with their 450 salto toss.
Really good toss from St. Leo, and here we'll see it again in the replay. Really good height and good catches from the bases. Good way to start this event for sure.
You've seen throughout these heats, the catch also so important. Have to keep that so stable despite a lot of these tops just flying down.
Exactly, you really don't want that top to kind of slide through or slip through, and you want to keep it tight and even and high. That good high catch can really show how the skill was executed really well a lot of times.
Presbyterian now 2 up. And they will also have a start value of 9.
Next, with a start value of 9, Presbyterian.
Trying to further close in on the gap between them and St. Leo and the overall running total.
Really good start for PC too. Really floaty looking on that one. Very nice, very high on that salto. And here we'll see it again. And you can see, actually from the top, you can kind of see her still looking forward, which shows a really good spot on before heading into that layout position and rotating, which is really good in terms of getting a lot of that height.
Freshman number 8, Addie Catledge, the top on that heat for the home side. We'll move to the synchronized toss portion of this category. Both teams will have a 940 start value. Both of these teams had score lines in the 8s in these 2 heats of the toss. Really the open toss portion there, their best parts of the category.
The synchronized toss. Up first with a start value of 9.40, St. Leo.
That's usually the case overall for both of these teams throughout their meets this season. We'll see how St. Leo fare here in their synchronized toss routine. There you have it, St. Leo with their synchronized toss.
Lots of excitement coming off the mat, and here we'll see that replay. A little low on the catches this time around, but still really great tosses overall.
So Presbyterian now set to go. Also a 940 start value for them. Presbyterian would score an 8-7 with the same start value of 940 in their meet against Frostburg State last Friday. See how they fare here. And the group gets a little bigger for this category.
Next, with a start value of 9.40, Presbyterian.
Presbyterian now takes the floor for their synchronized toss.
Ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Blue out! 6, 7, 8.
Absolutely flying routine there from Presbyterian. the height that those tops got there was really impressive, Madeline.
Exactly, really good height in that. They are very excited coming from this event, so we'll see that replay again. Really good synchronization. Hiking through just a little bit on that left side, but really good overall.
Now we move to the open toss. Both of these teams, again, will have a start value of 940 for these routines. Close out this toss category. Turn your attention again to St. Leo. And coming into this one off of a win against West Liberty last Friday on senior night. Honored 4 seniors in that one. One you've seen most frequently on the floor is number 34, Kyra Walker. Also honored on that evening was number 16, Haley Free out of Katy, Texas. Number 10, Jessica Santiago from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Number 4, Izzy Gillis out of Titusville, Florida. Walker, a native of Barksdale, Louisiana.
St. Leo.
St. Leo now gets started with the final piece of this toss category. St. Leo with their open toss.
Really good finish for the toss event for St. Leo.
Presbyterian will be to take another look at that routine here.
A little bit of a pike through at the end, but overall great job.
Hazelyn Westcott was the top on that occasion for St. Leo. Now Presbyterian will set to take the mat for their open toss and then send us into the tumbling category.
Next.
Really interesting to see the scores of this.
Presbyterian.
Presbyterian College with the open toss. Brujo's fired up about that routine to close out category number 4 of this meet. As you take a look at it here.
Let's introduce the
Really
tumbling
good
event. Next up is the
full
tumbling
toss.
event. This event has 6
Presbyterian
heats.
College,
The
a
first
lot of
3 are
heights on that.
synchronous group tumbling passes, a duo, trio, and quad tumbling pass. The last 3 are individual
Our
tumbling
judges
passes.
will determine the score. We'll step aside and let them do that. On the other side, we'll have the scores of that toss event, and we'll get you set for tumbling between PC and St. Leo. Here in Clinton, South Carolina, as you take a look at the scores for the toss event, St. Leo takes the category 26 to Presbyterian's 25-60.
Your event total for St. Leo, 26.
Madeline, all the teams scoring in the 8s there. It's St. Leo gets that narrow advantage and keeps their lead on the running total.
And Presbyterian with 117.20.
St. Leo with the highest score of that category there with their open toss and 880.
The first heat
Led
in
the way
tumbling
between
event
both
is the
teams.
duo pass. Up first with
So
a start value of
118.80 to
9.75,
117.20. St.
with
Leo leads
number
this meet
20,
as we
Maddie
go
Strutsky,
in
and number
to
17,
the
Caroline
penultimate
Jackson.
category of this event, the tumbling category. Tumbling duo to start things out. The duo pass, a 9.75 for St. Leo. St. Leo will see how the scores shake out after that routine. The start value 9.75 on that one. Maddox Rexky at number 20 and number 17, Carolyn Jackson, flying up the mat there.
Here we'll see it again. Really good synchronization. So much power from that whip, handsprings to a 1.5. Really good pass overall.
Presbyterian now will set to hit the 4. They will have a start value of 8.75 on this event. Will be the freshman number 8, Addie Catledge, and the sophomore number 19, Mia Cantu, going out there for the Blue Hose in this heat. Presbyterian patiently waiting to start, and now we will have their duo pass routine.
Presbyterian with number 8, Addie Catledge, and number 19, Mia Cantu.
There have it, the Blue Hose getting their tumbling event started out there with that duo pass routine.
Here we'll see it again. Really good synchronization, super clean, and lots of power going into that 1.5. And lots of excitement as they head back to the sideline to the rest of the team.
We move to the trio pass. Part 2 of 6 heats in this category. Most extensive piece of our meet here. A lot of skills on display. A lot of variety in these routines. You've seen huge groups in a lot of the previous categories and heats. Here, things tighten up a little bit. You have the duo pass, trio passes, quad pass, self-explanatory there with 2, 3, and 4 members of each team going out there, as well as some individual routines.
We now move on to the trio pass. Up first with a start value of 8.75.
For St. Leo will be number 10, Jessica Santiago, number 9, Aislinn Westcott. Aislinn Westcott, that is. Number 24, and Brooklyn Lambert for St. Leo here in part 2 of this category. St. Leo had a start value of 8.75 on that routine. We'll see how things shake out here. Madeline, your thoughts as we take another look at this?
A little bit of a synchronization and then a few steps at that very end, but the synchronization was just a little, it wasn't anything major, but really good job overall. Lots of power.
We'll see how that's reflected in the judges' score. That final step a little off there from St. Leo. Presbyterian will step up to the mat. Start value of 8 in this heat. A couple of freshmen here going out for Presbyterian. It'll be the rookie number 40, Adriana Nogara. Another freshman and number 4, Bella Romsberg. And the junior number 3, Iviran Awesome.
Next, with a star value of 8, Presbyterian, with number 40, Adriana Nogara, number 4, Bella Romsberg, and number 3, Ivan Awesome.
There you have it, Presbyterian with their trio pass routine.
Really good trio pass, and we'll be looking back at that. Just a little off on synchronization, kind of throughout. Overall, good job and lots of power.
It'll be interesting to see the scores of that when we get there at the end of this category, but take a look to the last bit of action for Presbyterian against Frostburg State last Friday. They really struggled at this trio pass routine, had quite a hiccup. A start value of 8 in that one. They scored a 565 on that routine. They're able to recover to only narrowly fall in that category to Frostburg State. Interesting to see what possible improvements there may be on that routine when our judges' scores come out. We now move to the quad pass for both of these teams. St. Leo due up a 955 start value here. St. Leo, it will be number 0, Emma Lay, number 35, Blair Reed, number 33, Ashley Anguiano, and number 3, Liliana DiBernardinus out there.
The final heat of synchronized passes will be the quad pass. Up first with a start value of 9.55, St. Leo, with number 0, Emma Lay, number 35, Blair Reed, number 33, Ashley Anguiano, and number 3, Liliana DiBernardis.
St. Leo on the quad pass. You could see a bit of an issue there at the end, madam. Take another look at that routine for St. Leo.
Yeah, good start to it. Just at the end, a fall and a couple of steps. But however, overall, great job for that. And quite the celebratory routine.
Celebrating around their head coach there, Brittany Johnson. Her 3rd year with the St. Leo squad. Presbyterian now due up. They will have a start value of 8 at this category. Junior number 12, Sophia Cipriani. The sophomore number 1, Carson DeRoss. A senior number 24, Avery Machowski. And the junior number 11, Abby Felicio, out there for the Blue Hose on this routine. Presbyterian awaiting the green light here for their quad pass. Again, a start value of 8. Last time out, they had a score line of
Number 1,
7:050.
Carson DeRoss. Number 24, Avery Machowski. And number 11, Abby Galicio.
Presbyterian faithful loving that quad pass routine.
Lots of excitement as they're heading back to the rest of the team. And we see this replay. Really good synchronization from PC.
We move to the individual routines now. We'll have aerial, 6-element, and open tumbling passes for each of these squads. St. Leo, they will have a start value of 10 for this aerial pass. Going out there will be number 20, Maddox Rexky. Rexky, a sophomore tumbler out of Fort Myers, Florida. Set for her routine. She'll fly into the mat off the far end. Go diagonally toward our table here. Take a look at the Presbyterian side of the mat, having some fun in between routines, as well as St. Leo.
Individual tumbling passes. First will be the aerial pass. Up first with a start value of 10, St. Leo with number 20, Maddox Resky.
St. Leo with the individual aerial tumbling pass. A long run up to that one, Madeline. An impressive show of skill there.
Yes, exactly. Lots of power throughout that, which is what it would take. I mean, 3 whips, that is a lot going into the 1.5 at the end. So lots of celebrations with her teammates. And so we'll see that all over again in this replay here. 3 whips going into that 1.5 with still a lot of power.
Presbyterian next up. They will have a start value of 945. It will be the junior Iberan Awesome stepping up. Take you back a little bit this season for Viren Awesome. For her performance in the meet against Wingate back at the start of the month, you were able to see here on ESPN+. She was named the National Collegiate Acro and Tumbling Association Honorable Mention for Specialist of the Week there on March 4th. Looking for a good routine here at the aerial tumbling pass.
Next, with a start value of 9.45, Presbyterian with number 3, Ivan Awesome.
Ivan Awesome with the individual aerial tumbling pass. And quite the celebration to cap it off.
Yes, exactly. And here we'll see that replay again. 3 whips, gaining momentum to get to that pool at the end.
Move on to the 6-element pass. St. Leo will have a start value of 975 there. take a look at Presbyterian's side of the mat. The team event coming up in just a little bit to close out the meet, and some preparations being made by the rest of the squad for that. Everyone staying fresh while you await these individual passes to go on. Means a majority of these teams are just hanging out on the side. You want to stay warm throughout this time.
Exactly. Making sure everything is still warmed up. Or warming up anything that is last
The fifth
minute
team
going
in the
into
tumbling
anything.
event is the 6th element pass. Up first with a start value of 9.75, St. Leo with number 6, Alyssa Hang.
The junior number 6, Alyssa Hang, with the 6 element pass. What a job for her and for St. Leo in that routine.
So much power in that pass. And here we'll see it again. 2 whips, so much power, gorgeous body positioning into that 1.5. And lots of celebrations for her and the team.
Presbyterian do up next. They will have a start value of 860 at this heat. Will be the freshman, number 8, Addie Catledge, flying diagonally across the mat for this one. One of 9 freshmen on this Blue Host squad here in 2026 out of Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Next, with a start value of 8.60, Presbyterian with number 8, Addie Catledge.
Addie Catledge with Presbyterian's 6 element pass routine.
Very clean pass. And here we'll see it again. Front handspring step out to a pull, or front handspring front step out to a pull. Really clean, so much power throughout.
We move to the final bit of this tumbling category in the open pass as you take a look at the celebration there.
Crowd surfing.
Again, the vibes always high in these events between these 2 teams, no matter whether it's Presbyterian or whoever they're going up against. Up next, the open pass. Again, a lot of creativity here for what each of these teams can do. St. Leo, of course, up first.
The final heat of tumbling will be the open pass. Up first with a start value of 10, St. Leo with number 33, Ashley Anguiano.
Number 33, Ashley Anguiano with the open pass routine for St. Leo.
Really good pass.
And they'll return the favor just like Presbyterian. She gets the crowd surf celebration as you take another look at that routine.
So much power. She did a front tug step out to a 1.5 step out to a full. Takes so much energy out of you. And she did it with so much energy and ease.
Presbyterian due up next. They will have a start value of 955 in this routine. This will be the last bit of action before the team event to close out this meet. For Presbyterian, it will be the sophomore number 19, Mia Cantu, that will fly across the mat for this heat. Take you a little bit back in this season to March 11th when Presbyterian took on number 15 ranked LaSalle, where Mia Cantu would post a season high score of 920 in this heat. See what she can manage here in this heat this evening against this number 11 ranked St. Leo side. Mia Cantu with the open pass for Presbyterian.
As always, Mia Cantu does an amazing pass. Definitely known as a powerful and amazing tumbler, and we'll see that again in that replay.
encompasses everything you just watched in the first five
Really
events.
good 1.5 right
features
there.
up to 24 athletes on the floor at one time.
So now our
performing
judges
skills
will
and
determine the
acrobatics
scores
across
for this
pyramid
event.
and
Again,
tumbling in a routine
a slight
set to
lead
result.
for St. Leo currently. We'll see what the scoreline will be. Our team event coming up right after this on ESPN Plus. As we come back here to the Templeton Center, take a look at the score lines there for the tumbling category as St. Leo stretches out their lead a little bit. They had some struggles there at the quad pass routine, a 585 scoreline, but were able to perform really strongly in the rest of the heats and took that specific category 50.30 to 47.30 over Presbyterian. And now the running total is 169.10 to 164.50. St. Leo leads as we head into the final event of this meet, the team category. And Madeline, this is always the chance to accumulate so many points and where so many meets can change hands.
Exactly. It really does always fall right down to team event. St. Leo has a good head start going into it, but anything
Now,
can really
for the final
happen.
event, with a
Whole crew pretty much
100.34
about to
start
get
value,
involved.
please
St. Leo
welcome to
will
the
have
floor the
a
St. Leo
100.34 start value for this team event.
Everybody ready? Give me 10. Be tight, y'all.
with their team event.
Really
Madeline,
high energy routine right there.
high energy. You may have seen a misstep here or there, Madeline,
Yes.
but overall, like you said, pretty high energy routine.
Yeah, I think there was a fall, just some timing errors here and there a little bit. I don't know if you saw it or not, and I'm not sure if it did, but I think there might have been a step off the floor, but I'm not entirely sure, so we'll have to wait and see after the judges bring out their scoring and stuff.
Take a look at some of those highlights across that routine. Again, the team event usually will have about 2 minutes and 45 seconds for the teams to do their thing and accumulate some of the most point totals you can here. What a way to finish things out with the worm into that final pose for St. Leo. Presbyterian gearing up to start their team event. Again, 2 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. A 97.01 start value for these Blue Hose to close out this meet. They're currently about 5 points behind in the running total to St. Leo. We'll see what they can do here to try and overturn that deficit. How much do some of those errors and missteps that Madeline was talking about reflect on the score line for St. Leo? And how can Presbyterian counter that, have some clean routines here, and take advantage of all of that? Blue Hose team coming into the final stretch of 2026, trying to get that first win of the season. Come oh so close last time out, last Saturday against Frostburg State. Also on several other occasions this season against some high-level competition. Looking to finally get over the line here against St. Leo. Another top-ranked side, number 11 to be exact, in the ACATA polls. National Collegiate Acro and Tumbling Association then. Teams vibing. St. Leo, a lot of pressure off of them. Your day is done, and it's all about watching from here on out. Take a look at the entire Blue Hose lineup there. Gearing up for their name to be called onto the mat. Close out tonight's action.
And with a 97.01 start value, the Presbyterian Blue Hose.
Here we go, Presbyterian to close out this meet with their team event.
Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Ho! Music's on.
Approach the final 90 seconds of this routine for the Blue Hose. Final 30 seconds of this routine. There you have it, Presbyterian College closing out our action here tonight with their team event. Madeline, you really saw that big fall on the right side with that set of pyramids. That was a glaring error for the Blue Hose.
Yeah, 2 falls, and a few just synchronization errors as well. However, high energy still. I mean, despite the falls, keeping up the energy was really good.
So both teams with some hiccups with their routines. We'll see how the scores shake out. Again, the score lines after the first 5 categories of this routine. St. Leo in a 5-point lead as you take a look at some of the highlights across that Blue Hose team event.
Looking back at that high energy ending right there in the team event.
Teams awaiting the scores of this one. Again, the current running total, St. Leo leads 169.10 to 164.50. And this event is where you can accumulate the most points. We'll see who it goes to. Again, both teams with some errors in their routines, but who gets really slashed the most by the judges in the score line. And Presbyterian 0-6 coming into tonight's meeting. St. Leo 4-1, their only loss this season to number 1 ranked Baylor side at the start of the season. And after these score lines and tonight's meet, just 1 left for these 2 teams on the 2026 docket. Some of these athletes as well, it won't be their final bit of competition. They'll head out to the NCATA National Championships at the end of next month. But for these overall teams, just 1 meet left.
Patiently awaiting those final scores to come out.
Again, St. Leo had a start value of 100.34 for their routine. Presbyterian, 97.01. And we talked about it earlier, the difficulty of the skills that you're trying to execute is what goes into those start values. How about St. Leo there, fired up for the announcement of these scores with that flag. Making the trip up here from Florida, the St. Leo Lions. For action here tonight, and they'll be sticking around the upstate of South Carolina to take on Converse to close out their season on Saturday. A lot to break down for our judges here. So much going on in those 2 minutes and 45 seconds with all the student athletes on the mat. And again, we saw a couple of hiccups between both sides. How does all of that get judged? We'll find out in a moment here on ESPN Plus. We take another look at St. Leo's side of the mat. Doing anything and everything they can to show off and keep busy while they wait for these scores.
Yep, keeping the energy really high while they're waiting those final scores. We love to see it.
And at this point, a sense of relief as well. There's nothing you can do at this point. Everything that can be done has been done.
Exactly.
And you're hoping you've done enough to get the win here in the meet. here from St. Leo. Presbyterian a little bit more neutral here. Wrapping things up, stretching out, cooling down while they await the scores. Presbyterian had a really good stretch. They took the acro and pyramid categories, the middle part of our event. Saw St. Leo take the tumbling category as well as toss and compulsory. Just 5 points separating these two teams going into this final category of scores that's to be announced in a moment. A lot of points on the line here. Presbyterian hoping for that first win of the season. St. Leo looking to move to 5-1. St. Leo got a team score of 79.82 against West Liberty. Let's see what they score here. And they improve upon that mark. An 80.35 score for St. Leo in the team event to Presbyterian 74.27. And that means St. Leo takes this meet 249.45 to Presbyterian's 238.77.
Thank you for attending today's meet. Join us
Madeline,
on our
some
next
final
World
thoughts for you on that, on some of those score lines, as despite some of the errors at St. Leo, who does enough in that team event to make sure they get the win.
Oh yeah, both teams stayed in really close throughout the meet until that very, like I said, that team event really can just kind of make that spread a little further sometimes, and so they were able to keep that score up.
Presbyterian now drops 0-7 on the season. St. Leo to 5-1 now. Folks, that'll do it for our coverage here on ESPN Plus of this acro and tumbling meet between Presbyterian and St. Leo, as we leave you with some final video to close things out here. On behalf of our entire crew here at Presbyterian College and my broadcast partner, Madeline Johnson, I'm Mike Szabo saying thank you all for tuning in and have a great rest of your night. Signing off here in Clinton, South Carolina, as St. Leo takes down Presbyterian to take the season sweep.